What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Tooth and Tail Clan Wars. What are we on? Week 4 here. We've got Clan Pboop, which I am the leader of, versus the Badger Missionaries, which is led by Rattan. Now, Rattan and I did our best to create some balanced matchups for you all today, so hopefully this show will be very nice. And we're going to start things off with Snake versus Liar. Both of these players actually really new to the game. Been practicing a lot lately, so really interested to see what they bring out. I think from the word on the street is Snake won some decent amount of matches against Liar and some like ladder play, some skirmishes, but Liar started coming back, started winning some games too. So I think this could go either way. I'm really excited for it, and I think we're good to go without any further ado. Let's take a quick look at the standings, actually. So Pboop right now, we're 0-1. We lost our first week. And Badger Mercenaries are 1-1. So that's currently where the team rankings are. And let these players know we're ready to get things going here. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And yeah, I think we're all set. So let me just double check my levels here. Let me know how the levels are in chat, everybody. We should be pretty good. I am on a little bit of a delay here. I like to do a little bit of a stream delay when we are playing live competitive matches. So everything should be good, and here we go. Hopping into game number 1 here. Let's see what Snake is bringing to the table. Lizard Toad, Snake Falcon, ooh, double tier 3. Meanwhile, Liar Harp going for more of a traditional setup here. I like it. I like both of these deck comps. Touch base on those a little bit more here in a minute. But already start things off in match number 1, game number 1 here on the right-hand side, representing Clan Pboop. We've got Snake, and the opponent to the left, representing the Badger Missionaries. We have Liar and Harp. I keep wanting to say Badger Mercenaries, so hopefully I don't mess that up. So actually pretty small map here. This one gristmill here in the center is kind of interesting. It'd be cool to see Liar try to take this and put out some like aggressive MGs or something like that. Meanwhile, there are some decent expansion options. You know, this map is relatively balanced, to be honest. Like, both players have good access to a couple extra bases. I almost like this a little bit better for Liar, I think, because I feel like Liar has 4 bases right here that are pretty easy to take advantage of. And if this game goes long, trying to get a 4th base for Snake will be difficult. You know, trying to either grab this one or this middle base. But this middle base is a little bit of a red herring base. I feel like if either player actually was able to take that and secure it, they would just have too much map presence and win the game outright. The only exception, I believe, to that would be if Liar, again, tries to take this to set up some, like, aggressive MG pushes. And, yeah, so let's see how these players want to go about it. So far, 8-farm double from Liar. Looks like Snake is going to follow suit. We might see an 8-farm single into a tier 2 here. Saving up a bunch of money. Nope, gonna go ahead and throw down those extra tier 1 and get that expansion. So pretty much mirror builds thus far. Snake's second tier 1 Warren was a little bit delayed because Snake was running around getting the lay of the land. Looks like Liar scouted everything out, and Snake has mostly scouted everything. Hasn't really seen this last base, but maybe did see enough of like the edge of those farms to know that there's a base there. And we're stuck in what I call tier 1 chicken for now, and it kind of makes sense. You know, this map is very short rush distance, so if you see your opponent trying to go for some higher tech units, you might be able to get in there and take advantage of that. Let me just double check the sound levels. I want to take the game down just a smidgen. There we go. Alright, that should be good. Okay, so far, we're both sides are just macroing up. Snake a little tiny bit ahead on the farms, but Liar's gonna correct that immediately. So pretty even so far. We haven't seen any real big decisions just yet. You know, both players kind of safely getting up to second base. Nobody's going crazy, building a ton of farms or anything like that. No tier 2 just yet. This big ball of lizards here that Snake has, though, does give him a good opportunity to come in here and try to snipe a pig or a Warren or something, but Liar is pretty in position. Oh no, Liar's going to scout. This is a great opportunity for Snake to come in and, yeah, get some pretty serious damage done. Loses a few lizards here. So is Liar going to try to go for the counterattack? No. I think just going to kind of grin their teeth and take it for now. Ooh, going to transition into an Owl Warren. And this is really smart from Liar. I think it's a mistake I see players do pretty often, is they'll try to rebuild these farms on the main. And, you know, if you have brand new, fresh farms available, you might as well take those, you know? You're going to get less efficiency out of rebuilding that farm that's already been mined out a little bit. So I do like that a lot, but I'm worried about this Owl. You know, Snake hasn't scouted it just yet. Oh my god. What are you doing with these toads? Is he going to go for a toad attack? Is he trying to set up a flank, maybe? Now, Liar is getting the timeout for the Owls, and a single owl is not super threatening, but it can really help, especially with all these toads. You know, if these toads connect onto the mice, that's going to be a ton of value for Liar, since those mice are free units. Yeah, it looks like Snake is trying to set up a flank here. Maybe he's getting a little bit too fancy. Is this actually going to work? He's going to come down here, attack the lizards. Let's see if he rallies the toads. Oh, he's just devastating the second base. Still doesn't know about the owls, and now the toad rally comes in. It might have been a little bit late. Oh my god, is he just going to try to focus down the mill with all these toads? Oh my god, Snake, yes, do it! Oh my god, what a great way to end match number 1. That was amazing. Good lord. Okay, point on the board for Snake here, with some clever, cheeky play, utilizing the lizards to go snipe that second base. Even though it was cost ineffective, it pulled all of Liar's units down to deal with that, and then it left the main open for the big toad hit. That was awesome. So again, Badger Missionaries are 1-1 so far in the Clan Wars, and Clan Pboop is 0-1. Spawning at the bottom, representing the Badger Missionaries, we've got Liar and Harp. And up top, representing Clan Pboop, we've got Snake. Alright, no toads this time around from Snake. Otherwise, pretty similar deck. I think he just swapped out the toads for some squirrels. Meanwhile, Liar is going for a very strong ladder deck, I think. You know, all of this Tier 2 is very popular and a good way to play. The Snakes help leverage against most enemy Tier 3. They're pretty much good against all the Tier 3, especially with the Skunks there helping deal with the Owl. You know, one thing that Liar might be a little bit vulnerable to here is the Fox, but Fox not a super meta unit, and the Lizards can kind of chase it down. You can set up cam ambushes, and if you do happen to get a stack of Snake Poison on a Fox, it's basically a dead Fox. So overall, I think Liar's got a very nice, well-rounded Tier 2 centric deck. And meanwhile, again, Snake, you know, going for this double Tier 3. It's kind of cool because this Snake Owl composition is still very strong. One of the best late game comps you can really get into, especially with the Falcons there. And having the Boar, you know, if you get into this Owl Snake, you know, this Owl war in the late game, the Boar is just very, very good at dealing with enemy owls, you know, by just roasting down all the mice. Okay, second base coming from Snake. Now, one thing about this map is it is a little bit awkward for Snake here. He's going to have to really push out to grab these two bases. You know, Liar does have a nice, pretty easy natural, but the problem with this natural is it is on low ground, so Snake, you know, doing an attack from this angle could be pretty painful. Really taking a third from either side is going to be rough. You know, both these third bases are right in the middle of the map. So generally, again, another fairly balanced map. This time around, it's a bit more of a mid-range size. You know, second base is a little bit wonky for both players, but doable. I think I do like this a little bit better than Snake. For Snake, his second base is going to be harder to attack. It is up here on the high ground. The Liar's not messing around this time around. This game coming in with some Squizzard here. Thinking about doing an attack. Needs to be careful not to run those lizards up too far ahead of the squirrels. I'm just going to back out. Oh, it's a shame Liar doesn't know about this base, though. That could have been an easy snipe on that farm at the very least. So Liar's going to come back home and take that expansion for now. Try to get into some cams here. I actually like this, especially if after Snake leaves, if Liar decides to go for double cam, and that's exactly what they do. Oh, actually, skunk cam. Okay. That could work quite nicely as well. And so far, you know, with Snake just on tier 1, this army composition that Liar's putting together could be pretty powerful. There is always the risk, you know, sometimes tier 1 when you just have so many of them, you know, it doesn't even matter, but Snake going for the snakes. But, I think I generally like the composition Liar is heading towards in the mid-game here a little bit better. Snakes are pretty strong units. It's going to come down to the target fire from Snake onto those tier 2 of Liar, but I think what Liar would want to do in this engagement is utilize the lizards that they have to target down the enemy snakes and let their tier 2 just kind of do their thing. So Snake coming in here, going to look for some damage with these lizards, but Liar this time around does catch them. Going to have to come home for now. And yeah, so far, I think this is kind of anyone's game. Keep in mind, Snake did get that second base rolling a little bit faster than Liar did, but Liar's already shooting ahead on those second base farms, and 1 minute from now, once we hit that 5-minute mark, that's really going to make a difference after you lose those 4 starting farms on that main base. That's where these economic differences are really going to start hitting, and I almost would have liked to see Liar like push out and try to take advantage of that. But going to go in instead for some Falcons here. Just really trying to put together a mid to late game strong army. You know, attacking in Tooth and Tail can be pretty difficult, especially for newer players. So this makes perfect sense to me. One thing I always tell newer players is a lot of times it's better off to be defensive. To kind of wait till you got what you're looking for. But this is a lot of units coming across the map here from Snake. Even grabbing this third base mill. Maybe try to pressure Liar into taking an engagement. Maybe to do a little bit of tanking here. And Liar will spot this. Oh, but Snake is pulling back. I think Liar's just trying to buy some time to get into a few more of these tier 2 units. 6 Falcons from Snake, though. This could do a lot of damage very, very quickly. Snake thinking about running around with these lizards. Ooh, Liar needs to be careful. That snake poison on the commander can kill you so quickly. Gets back in time, though. And here comes Snake with the lizards, but Liar does not see them. Gonna come and get some damage on. But actually, you know what? If Snake loses all these lizards here, this is gonna be a great opportunity for Liar to counterattack. If they go right now. You know, yes, Snake got some good damage in, but if Liar hits right here, right now, they might have a little bit of an army advantage. They're hesitating a little bit. Some of these lizards already back on the front, but here we go. The first real big engagement of the match here. Liar's commander did take some snake poison, but managed to heal back up. And it looks like Liar will crush through this. A couple Falcons left in the air. And this is not looking good for Snake. Snake has a lot of tier 2 warrants. Putting all of the production in the red. Needs to come home, probably sell off these Falcons. No, gonna actually try to keep the Falcons and sell a lot of the other tier 1. I can't say I agree with that. It would be really nice if they can afford it, but with the economy that they have, with the pressure of a counterattack, Liar doing a good job here, selling down one of those extra Falcon warrants. And yeah, now that we're well past that 5-minute mark, we're at 6:30. Most of the main base is dead and gone. Actually, the entire main bases are totally fallowed out. And the players are just relying on their second bases here. This might be Snake's final stand. Gonna wait for that 4th Falcon. Totally agree. You know, maybe if Snake kind of holds on, I would say like really hard defend this base. Try to get some extra farms going, but no, is gonna push out here. I think Snake really needs to try to take advantage of the high ground. Yeah, there we go. Oh, but if this Falcon gets caught out. Alright, Liar pushing forward. Snake not microing the units, actually trying to run away with the squirrels. And this is going to be Liar's victory here, tying up this series 1-1. I think Snake started off well, but got a little bit overzealous with that lizard counterattack, or lizard flank attack, I should say, on those farms, which gave Liar the opportunity to come in there and get some real work done with that very tier 2 heavy army. So, alright, Liar tying the series up 1-1. Good for the Badger Missionary fans out there. I am a biased caster. Again, I am the leader of Clan Pboop, so I'd love to see Snake take the win here. But more importantly, I'm just happy that this is a nice even matchup. Seems like these players are going pretty toe-to-toe, and this last one could go either way. The players deciding on their final deck choices here. Okay. Spawning on the right-hand side, we've got Snake. And over in the bottom left, Liar and Harp. Alright, alright. Liar rocking the ferrets, man. My brain wants Snake to win because, you know, Clan Pboop, but my heart wants Liar to win with those ferrets. Always love to see ferrets performing well. Pretty short map, and actually pretty favored to Liar if the game goes too long. Now, I do want to put an asterisk on that because, again, honestly, I think we've had some really balanced matches, or maps rather, for this first series. But, you know, 90% of the time, this map is going to be totally fine for Snake. You know, 3 extra bases, I mean, 2 bases here. You can get to 3 bases, no problem. Even probably take this as a 4th. Oh, man, that would be so crazy, though, if we saw some ferrets, like, sieging from up here on some warrens and stuff. But, yeah, I think 90% of games are 2 to 3 bases, you know. So, but if we get in that crazy situation where this game goes super long, it definitely will favor Liar. You know, 5 bases over here. Pretty easy to defend. There's a little bit of a bridge. No lizards this time around for Snake. Liar does have the lizards, though. And look at this. I talked too much about the map. I missed the fact that these players did not go straight for 8 farms. I'm not sure which one of them started this aggression here, but both players seem to respond just fine. Actually winding up basically at the exact same spot here if you look at the panel boards for the players. So no harm, no foul. It looked like one of the players decided to get a little bit aggressive with some pre-8 farm warrens, but the other one scouted it no problem and followed suit. So very, very similar spots here in the early game. We're going to finish up with 8 farms with two warrens and continue to go into Tier 1. Now, I kind of like the Tier 1 comp a little bit better for Snake here. Squirrel Toad versus Squirrel Lizard. I think the Squirrel Toad does have the advantage. And that might actually really matter this game because the rush distances are so small. Look at this. Good mind games here from Snake. Liar comes in and scouts. Alright, my opponent's expanding. It's good for me to take an expansion. But then Snake sells that expansion off, rails down all the Tier 1, and is going to come in here and try to slam the opponent while they have an extra 60 food in army. Now, attacking into Liar's base is going to be very awkward. You know, with this big high ground here. No ramp on Snake's side. But Snake can kind of take the army around this way. Keep in mind, on this balance patch, toads are not slowed down in water, so if a couple of those toads, you know, go down into the little canyon there, they'll be just fine. Oh, man, so Snake gonna actually go for this. No, gonna expand. Okay, here comes the attack. I like this a lot. I like Snake pushing out here. You know, Liar is committing to that Tier 2. The ferret's not the best units in direct engagements, even if one of the ferrets does get out. But I think Snake should come in here and try it. With these toads, we'll definitely get some warrens. But no, gonna decide against it for now. Kind of flirting with the idea of attacking. But he's just gonna go ahead and expand, get some cams going. Oh man, this ferret harass from Liar. Liar's not messing around. Liar didn't just bring the ferrets. Liar is actually building them. Now, some of this road could come into account there. The road speeds units up, so it'll be easier for the ferret to kind of come in here, poke a little bit, and run away. Snake also doesn't have any fast units that could easily catch up with the ferret. But once these cams come out, you can set up a cam trap like you do against foxes. You know, leave your invisible cams up here in the front. And it looks like Liar is bringing the lizards as well, maybe to check for mines, check for chameleons, that sort of thing. And Snake is just going to take this engagement. All the toads connecting with the lizards here. Here come the chameleons. And so far, this is looking pretty good for Snake, especially if he can keep this chameleon alive. Liar losing a lot of the Tier 1 here. Does keep the ferret alive, though. Snake coming around. Again, trying to attack into this main is a bit awkward. Oh, I don't think Snake should have pulled back there. I think they're a little bit committed. They just got to go for it. Oh, Snake's going to target down the ferrets with the cams. Going to lose a cam in the process, though. And I think Snake him and hawed a little bit too much in that engagement. It allowed Liar to take a decent trade. Keep in mind, Liar is 2 farms ahead. Both players lost to tier 2 there. I think that first engagement, where the ferret was out on the map, was better for Snake, but that second engagement, I think was better for Liar. I think Snake overvalued the ferret there. Should have probably just had the cams on the front line attacking the tier 1, in my opinion. But both these players doing a great job in these games, in my opinion. Again, these are legitimate beginners. Both players just started playing the game a couple months ago, if that. And so far, you know, playing quite nicely. Other than a few, like, nuanced things, I think they're generally not making very many mistakes. I think they have some pretty good decision-making. Yeah, and this is the ferret ledge, man. That is such a good spot for the ferrets. Now, is this game going to slow down a little bit? Snake is doing a good job of scouting the opponent's second base, knows how many farms Liar's on, trying to follow suit here, getting into some Falcons. The Falcons will help deal with these ferrets on the ledge here. Also a great unit to add a lot of burst damage into the back as long as you can keep them alive. They are pretty squishy. Okay, so we got a little bit of a lull in this game. So again, everybody, thanks for tuning in. It's always a pleasure. And we're on week 4 of the Clan Wars. There's going to be another match at 4 o'clock EST today. I'm not sure if somebody's streaming it or not. I'll see if I can figure that out and let you guys know when we have some downtime. But right now the game's evened out. Liar's trying to get onto the Owls, and this is what Liar wants. You know, Liar wants this game to drag out a little bit because they do have more gristmills on their side of the map. And even trying to take this gristmill is going to be hard for Snake. You know, with the ferrets being able to poke into it, with the mice being able to harass it. Main bases are totally fouled out. Snake is sneaking ahead a little bit in farms. Gonna go for the third base, but I don't know if Snake knows about these owls. That's the big problem. Right now they don't. Snake really needs a good scout here to see what's going on. Build their own boar. There we go. Sees both owls. So now they can decide, okay, do I want to push in right here, right now? Or do I want to maybe get into a boar? Looks like he's going to go for the boar. Honestly, I would have rather seen him sell off some tier 1 here. I think that's the play. Get rid of some of these squirrels and get into some more cams and falcons. The boar is going to be pretty good. But Liar can identify the boar and then build a bunch of falcons to respond to that. Does see it, actually. Good scout there. Gonna come in and just check on this third base. Says, okay, got the third base. Alright, they got a boar on the way. Even saw that extra tier 3 Warren going down. But Liar does have the tempo at the moment. Is ahead on the tier 3. Gonna come in for an attack. Sold off the ferrets. Oh my god, Liar's just gonna go for it. Snake is not here. Snake is not in position to defend. Alright, Snake's coming in now. So far, Liar didn't get a ton of damage on. Killed a Warren or two. But I think Snake is going to clean this up. Running out of units that can attack air. Okay, there we go. Barely cleans it up. Actually cleans it up by a good bit. I think... Oh, but one Falcon remains. Oh, I thought that was a Snake Falcon. So both the cams here for Snake. That's going to be very good. That's going to allow them to deal with the mice pretty reasonably. Really needs this boar to come out, and it's about 20 seconds away. Oh, Liar sold down on one of the owls, just to make sure that they have more core units here to build into some more falcons. Oh, this is getting close. Snake needs to know about this attack coming in. Doesn't have a lot of units right now. All the falcons are being built. Sold off the chameleons. Really needed those chameleons right now, but here comes the boar. However, there's a lot of falcons here for Liar. He can target this boar down. Bringing this boar so far ahead. That boar is getting so close, it is going to die. And Liar has dealt so much damage to the second base of Snake here. This might just be too much. I really don't think Snake should have sold off those chameleons. I think that they really needed it and to help there. Here comes the owl for Snake, but it's a little bit too late. And this looks like a nice, well-fought, well-deserved victory here from Liar and Harp, putting Badger Missionaries up 1-0 in the series. Oh man, Snake put on a really good show. I love that that Toad win in game number 1, but Liar gonna take the match. But those were some fun games, man, especially from the beginners bracket. Okay, let me do a couple things behind the scenes here. So we're going to have Kalaru coming out for Clan Pboop next. And it's going to be the Kid for Badger Missionaries. Put a point on the board for the Badgers. Man, Liar played really great. Some good decision making there. And the games were quite close. I think Snake might have been able to hold on if they didn't sell those cams. I'm not sure what you guys think in the chat. But I think the cam sell was the big issue there. Okay, while we're rounding up the rest of the players here, keep in mind, if you are new to this channel, I typically on Friday nights when I can, I cast replays from the viewers, so send me those replays, everybody. ToothandTailTV at gmail.com of your favorite games. All skill levels are welcome. Beginners, experience, or some trolley matches, or you and your buddies just having fun. It doesn't really matter. And we like all the replays. Looks like we got Kalaru here. And what did I want to check? I wanted to check if the other match is being streamed. So who do we got coming up later today? We've got TRG versus Fox Babies. And how are those teams doing? Oh, I can actually probably, while we're waiting. This isn't going to be like the most professional here, so I apologize, but this is, let me do that. Bam! Yeah. Alright, so this is where we're at right now in the event. Looks like Team TRG in the lead, 2-0. Lizard Wizard Magic after that with the differential. Now, we screwed up the first week. We lost 0-3 and we never played our fourth match. So I messed that up. We might have to eventually play that fourth match if it matters later. Badger Missionaries are nice and even right here in the middle. FXB, the legitimate clan. They're StarCraft 2 players that came over and have been doing quite well. Led mostly by Trumpets, and they're 1-1 right now. Fox Babies 0-1 and Pboop 0-1. So Pboop would like a win today. Fox Babies would like a win today, but of course everybody would like that win today. And there we are, perfect timing. The Kid. For some reason I thought it was 2 Ds. It is just 1. Let me make that adjustment, and yep, we are ready to roll. Okay, hopping into game number 2. Now this is an experience matchup. Kalaru, longtime Tooth and Tail player, has performed quite well in some events in the past. And meanwhile, the Kid is, I think, it's hard to say newer to the scene, but like compared to Kalaru, he's newer because Kalaru's been here basically since the beginning. I remember casting Kalaru games for quite some years now. But up in the top left, representing Clan Pboop, down one match in the one game in the series, I should say, it's Kalaru. And in the bottom right, representing Badger Missionaries, the Kid. Okay, it's a little bit of a crazy map here. Let me double check I've got everything set up right. Looks like I do. Okay, perfect, yeah. Great. Alright, Kalaru's got a nice little, basically a pocket base here. Yeah, I mean, there's only one attack path into both the main and the natural here. The kid does have the lizards and can do some crazy stuff like run all the way around this way and try to backstab into Claro's main. Both players rocking a defense here. I like that. Ooh, Claro with the ferret balloon. Yeah, my man. All right. Claro, honestly, me and Claro have pretty similar playstyles. I would say he also likes to play with units like foxes and ferrets and defenses and that sort of thing. The kid with a very aggressive deck, in my opinion. You know, 3 powerful tier 1 choices. Basically all the powerful tier 1. I guess the Falcons don't make as much sense in the kid's deck to me. That might be the hedge the bet kind of move from the kid. Claro needs to scout this expansion and does. Very nice. The kid actually cheated that expansion out a little bit earlier. And look at this. Claro going to take this low ground, more exposed expansion. First off, sell everything off. Go into some ferrets. All right, Claro. Cooking up some magic here. I think what Claro wants to do is get a balloon down up here on this high ground and try to control this area immediately. This is risky from Claro. He could have taken this safer base and been just fine. But let's see if Claro even farms up. Like, right now, the kid is just playing a straight-up standard game of Tooth and Tail. Is he going to sell these farms after the kid leaves? No, he does want the farms. Right now, Claro is a little bit exposed against all the tier 1 of the enemy. The kid did scout the tier 2 coming out, but is probably not suspecting a ferret. The ferret's like the last tier 2 you would think it would be. Most likely, it's probably skunks, is what the kid is thinking. But this is a very important scout from the kid. He sees the ferrets. And is he going to pull the trigger off the back of this? Again, the ferrets are a little bit of a risky unit in the early game. They don't do as good as some other tier 2s in those direct fights. And not only that, but Claro's skimping a lot on tier 1 here. Trying to get up to some skunks as well. If the kid gives Claro the breathing room that Claro wants, he's going to be in a very strong spot. Like, even if he can get one of these skunks out. But here come the lizards. Claro needs to be on top of the scout. Oh, this is bad for Claro. Okay, does he see the lizards? Okay, I think he just barely saw lizards out of the corner of his vision. If he would have went for a scout while the lizards were flanking, that would have been maybe critical damage. But here's the big attack coming in from the kid. One skunk is here. Claro really needs to keep this skunk alive. All right, good defense from Claro. Does lose a farm. And those ferrets actually did get some good shots off on the ball of tier 1 units before the attack really started, which definitely helped a lot. But, oh, Claro's feeling a little bit bold here. Gonna come in and start harassing with these ferrets. Gonna pull him back. Nice micros so far. It looks like a couple of tier 2 units getting low. One ferret drops. But I think the skunks are the more important unit here. Both players doing a good job of macroing up during all of this. And so far, I think this is going okay for Claro, but he needs to be careful. This is a lot of units here from the kid. The kid trying to get into some falcons, actually. I think he originally went for chameleons, but decided to sell those off. One of these skunks very low. Good pickup there from the kid. And I don't know if Claro is overstaying his welcome a little bit here, trying to get some real damage in. The ferrets did pick off a farm. Okay, here comes the falcons. None of these tier 2 units here from Claro can shoot up. Just going to rely on the tier 1 to deal with those. Now, if Claro can comfortably... Oh, this... I'm worried about Claro, man. I think these ferrets maybe just killed a war in there. I'm not 100% on that. But he's being super aggressive with his units. Starting to lose some tier 2. Oh, that 1 HP skunk is staying alive for now. It does go down. And he's got nothing here to defend against these falcons. A really good choice from the kid. And I think Claro was playing really well, but just got a little bit too bold with his units, kind of overextended a little bit. I think he needed to go back, you know, re-rally, maybe try to get a balloon up, and the kid comes in and does some nice counter damage. This army value graph is all over the place. And right now the kid is winning the macro game. A couple farms ahead at the moment. No falcons here, though. Oh, I love this flank from the kid, too. He's waiting for Claro to step out And he's going to have these lizards come in from the side and get a ton of surface area. Okay, Kalaru pushing in again. One skunk almost goes down, but it doesn't. That's actually really important. Here comes that lizard flank. Gets a ferret, gets a skunk. Oh, is the other ferret gonna die? It's so close. Kalaru needs to get out of here. Dude, this game is so action-packed. Economies are stabilizing now. A couple of these farms going down to ferret shots here. Kalaru really needs squirrels at this moment. Just needs some backbone support units. It's really impressive how much work Kalaru has been doing with these ferrets this game. All right, main bases are mining out here. Oh, and the kid with 2 Falcon Warrens, it can't really afford that at the moment. He should probably sell one off. This is actually a really good opportunity for Kalaru to come in here. Start to shell down the main mill. Needs to be careful, though, with these ferrets so far ahead all by themselves. These lizards are going to be able to run them down. One ferret gets picked off. Basically for free. That ferret harassment this time around really didn't do anything. If you notice, the kid's been pretty smart about building all of his warrens on the back here, outside of range of the ferret shots. Oh, this is getting so close, but the kid a little bit ahead on the economy here. All right. Well, Kalaru just sold some stuff off. He's trying to get into double skunk. Honestly, I think he's just got to sell the ferrets, you know? I'd like to see him sell the ferrets and get a lot more tier 1. I think that's the move. Oh, but Kalaru did take this mill. That will actually matter a lot. The mill tanking will definitely help. Especially, yeah, where Kalaru is positioning his units. But Kalaru needs more money. This engagement right now is not what he wants. It's basically going to make that tier 2 war and be supply block forever, and the kid is just going to come in here and run everything over. Really cool match here. Really cool game number 1 from Kalaru. Showing off some great ferret play. But I think he's going to have to tap now. I think Kalaru might have got a little bit too crazy with the ferret harassment and just needed a few more core units here. And yeah, he's going to tap right there. GG! The kid with some really good defenses. And honestly, the kid did a very good job there of knowing when to sneak out that extra farm. And in the end, I think that's what won him the game. You know, most of that match, throughout all that chaos, the kid was a farm or 2 ahead. And that's a very hard skill to learn in Tooth and Tail. Just knowing, okay, I have just enough extra money, you know, in between these engagements, let me grab an extra pig. But Kalaru did a great job there, showcasing some really cool ferret play. Let's see what these players decide to do in the next match. Oh! The kid going for a ferret style. Meanwhile, Kalaru hitting the random button a couple times, trying to get some inspiration here. I hope he doesn't just go full random. Thinking about what he wants to do. Okay, spawning on the left-hand side, fresh off a victory, we've got the kid. And over on the right-hand side, Kalaru. Alright, Kalaru this time around with the fox. Now, Kalaru did hit that cheesy random button a couple times, but honestly, I think the deck that he tweaked with here in the end is pretty solid. The barbed wire will be very difficult for the kid to deal with. Lots of tier 1 out of the kid. No cams, no moles, anything like that really can deal with it. Kalaru actually with a 5-farm single. I love this kind of thing in general, but I don't think this is the map for it, especially with squirrels, you know. I mean, the rush distance is so far. The kid probably doesn't even really have to respond to this. Yeah, he's like, whatever, I don't care. That's very smart from the kid. I mean, by the time a squirrel walks all the way over here, the kid will have his own units. So, Off to a bad start here for Kalaru in game number 2, but I think overall the map does look better for Kalaru. You know, if you look at Kalaru's kind of continent over here, he's got 5 mills you can take advantage of. Meanwhile, the kid's stuck on 3 here. The turrets are going to be a little difficult for the fox, but that's not the end of the world. Kalaru also has snakes to help poke down the turrets, kind of do their ferret impression there. And Kalaru's going to go ahead and grab that second base, try to eke out ahead a little bit in that regard, maybe make up for the quick warren. But honestly, that quick warren, like, yeah, gave the kid a little bit of an economic advantage in the very, very early game. But in the long run, it's actually not going to matter. And the reason it's not going to matter, compared to a game like StarCraft or something, is that the main bases mine out so much. So even though Kalaru has a little bit less money right now, as long as the game goes like to the 630 mark, it won't matter because they'll both collect the same amount of money from that first base, if that makes sense. Okay, the kid looking to get a little bit aggressive here. This is really smart from the kid to go ahead and try to grab this area, to not let Kalaru just grab this whole landmass here. Oh, he's even coming out with some turrets right off the bat. Very bold to try to take turrets against the guy that you just saw play ferrets too, but no ferrets this time around. Instead, Kalaru's going to hang back, macro up, try to get into some snakes. I would like to see a little bit of barbed wire here too. Not a lot, but just a couple pieces to make it really awkward to attack into that second base of Kalaru, because he is being a little bit greedy. I mean, keep in mind the kid does have 180 bucks into turrets. Kalaru's got an extra 180 bucks into farms, so this is kind of interesting. Like right now, Kalaru's got a pretty big economic lead, but the kid has a much nicer map position. He did successfully get these turrets put together, but now the snakes, if microed right, should do a pretty good job knocking these out cost effectively. Oh, almost. He sells it off. Oh, they can't lose the snake though, that's the thing. Gotta be real careful. The snakes will regenerate pretty quick. Reptiles have faster regeneration rates than mammals in this game. You can see him coming on back up. Once he gets the double snakes out, it'll be a little easier to deal with these turrets. And what the kid wants to do to try to negate the snake pressure is, ooh, nice farm pickup there, is build the turrets in such a fashion where when the snakes come in to try to attack, they get hit by multiple turrets at once. Oh, nice job baiting all those lizards into some toads. But now that the ferrets are here, you know, the clock is ticking for Kalaru. The kid can safely poke down that second base with the ferrets. And is Kalaru gonna go for an engagement? Ah, it's so rough though. Oh my god, he's gonna get the second base, the kid. This time around, utilizing the ferrets with the conjunction of the turrets here to do a ton of damage. And now Kalaru is kind of all in. Does have a really strong army comp, but again, it's really hard to attack into all these turrets. Oh, what is Kalaru gonna do? I think he did have that second base for like long enough to where he made a profit off it, you know? But losing it is really rough. Kalaru's trying to look for the right angle here to fight the least amount of turrets as possible. Ooh, even setting up down here in the bottom. I think that's pretty smart. Alright, trying to find the angle. This is rough for Kalaru. He's under a lot of pressure here. It's basically going to be one engagement. If he messes this engagement up, the game is over. He loses the match. He finds the angle he's looking for. Let's see. Oh, looks like the kid is going to clean this up, and that's going to be a nice 2-0 victory for the kid. GG, another win here for the Badger Missionaries. All right. Let me let the next players know that we're ready for them. It's going to be Lego Man versus Necromanticer. 2-0 lead so far for the Badger Missionaries. All right, let me just get these players in here. Okay, let me get Lego Man. All right, so right now things are looking pretty good for the Badger Missionaries here. But Pboop can still win this. So if Pboop wins the next couple matches, then we're gonna go to a tiebreaker essentially, which is gonna be a best of one between any player on both teams. Here we go. We're ready to roll in game number 3 here. This is gonna be a slugfest. If you're a newer player or somebody's trying hard in Tooth and Tail, really trying to learn the game, these are definitely 2 players to take out the notepad for. Lego Man and Necromanticer. Both big veterans of the competitive scene, both quite strong players. And spawning on the bottom right, we've got Lego Man 96 with the hope of Clan Pboop on his shoulders. And up top, trying to seal the deal here for Badger Missionaries, we've got Necromanticer. So basically, what needs to happen here for Pboop to take a victory is we've got to win this best of 3, then we've got to win the next best of 3, which is going to be Melvin Fro versus the Gentleman. So if you guys thought Necromanticer versus Lego Man is a crazy match, the Gentleman versus Melvin is also pretty super high level. Gentleman, the last winner of the Tooth and Tail Championship, narrowly defeating Tiki Gray, I believe, if I remember that match correctly. And let's take a look here. So, Lego Man pretty much playing like the standard try-hard Tooth and Tail deck, in my opinion, right now. You know, the late game that it can put together is really awesome. I think Lego Man is being a little bit greedy with running only one tier 1, trying to cheat in either that barbed wire or that falcon. I think the squirrel, skunk, snake, owl is like the core of the composition. You know, sometimes you want me personally, I like to add like the lizards into something like this because I just feel very vulnerable on a single tier 1 to things like toads. But meanwhile, Necromanticer is actually running more of a bruiser comp and really has the pieces here to deal with what Lego's doing. You know, the Badger is traditionally quite strong against the owl, and that's why Lego Man has the snakes to deal with the Badger. But that's why Necro has the pigeons, right? To keep the Badger alive through the snake. So it's tough for me to say one of them has a distinct advantage in the late game with these compositions. It's going to really come down to build orders, who kind of gets these small advantages throughout the games, how the engagement goes. Necro here looking for a flank attack with these lizards is not going to find much damage. The Gristmill is under attack. One rallying lizard actually bit the dust, coming in the wrong way, and it looks like Lego will clean this up. Actually, a pretty big loss here for Necro. Didn't quite get that Gristmill. Loses almost all the lizards, and Lego is in pretty good shape. Now, this map is kind of awkward, but I do like it better for Lego. You know, he's got to deal with a couple entrances here against the lizards, but the barbed wire really helps with that. And he's kind of got this nice 4 Gristmill plus a cabin thing on the back end. Now, technically speaking, Necromanticer does have that 5th mill on his side of the map, but he's a little more spread out, right? This is harder to defend. You know, these mills are a little bit far up. I think Necro would have been a lot happier if he just took these mills and moved them a couple tiles backwards. You know, these would be very easy for Lego to harass, like the lizards or with the owls later on. Ooh, these couple mines. Lego does not know about these mines. Bam! Some good hits there, and Necro's going to use these lizards to try to finish off the weakened squirrels. The snake gets here as well. Oh, Lego's being quite bold, continuing to push forward here with such a small force. Does have the snake, but generally the lizards are pretty good against the snakes. Yeah, and all these extra lizards coming out. Gonna deal a ton of damage. The snake will pick off a few of those. Losing the snake is never fun, but overall, an okay trade for both sides. Ooh, Necro actually pulling back that barbed wire there just in time for Lego Man. He had a pretty small force up on the front line. So many lizards here, and I think this is the right play from Necro. You know, lizards are pretty good against snakes. Oh my god. Lego is pushing in, but Necro wanted to backstab. However, the barbed wire really going to stop him from going in, and I'm curious if you just kind of tank through that barbed wire and run in anyways with that amount of lizards. I'm not sure, but Necro does have the speed advantage here, so could very quickly get back home and defend. And Lego is pushing forward, doing a great job utilizing this barbed wire. Oh man, this is a pretty intense game so far. I'm pretty worried for Lego though with all these lizards here. Lego Man did put a lot of money into barbed wire, which is not going to help in this engagement. All of his units will go down. He does some decent trades, but losing the snakes there feels bad, man. Look at that army value dive for Lego Man. Keep in mind, a lot of that is barbed wire. That tank mill going down as well, so Necro getting some good value. You know, Lego really needs skunks more than he needs snakes in this position. He just really enjoys the snake as a unit. Oh, pulling all those units just straight into the barbed wire here. Necromantizer trying to go for the kill, but I think he got a little bit too overzealous there. Losing a lot of value trying to fight into that barbed wire. He's got so many tier 1 warrens, though he will very quickly reproduce these lizards. However, the snake does come in and snipe out that tier 2 warren. One skunk does manage to get out. Necromantizer really trying to target down this snake. He does finally get it. But at what cost? Oh my god, this game is so hype. Lego's snake usage is just stressing me out so much, man. Because the snake is not what you want against this many tier 1. But it's really cool to see Lego make it work. Oh, almost getting that snake. Okay, now we're just relying on second base economies. And Necromantizer has been just a farm ahead most of this match here. Threatening to take these units around the back end. What Necro really is trying to do is to pull these units outside of the wire. Oh my god, this is so clutch. I think Lego... Oh, he's selling off a bunch of stuff. What is he doing? Just trying to build some more farms. Oh, here comes that big attack from the backside. Lego Man is not in position here. Oh my god, Necro. Pushing through. Oh my god, he's gonna get so much damage onto this second base. Gonna sell these building farms, just sells one of them. Lego Man is starving now. Necro building almost just pure lizard this game. Did build a skunk warren, which got sniped. But still got one skunk out of it, and now he's just so far ahead. And I think Lego's just over-reliant on the snakes this game. And Necromantizer had his card. You know, basically the counter to snakes are lizards. And Lego Man just did not want to transition out of it, so Necromancer was like, fine, I'll just continue to build those lizards. Okay. Let's see what these players decide for game number 2. Pboop really needs a map win here from Lego. No pressure on Lego. But if Lego loses this map, then Pboop cannot win the day for the clan war. And on the flip side, this is really nice for Necromantizer. You know, if he wins this map right here, right now, he solidifies victory for the Badger Missionaries. Spawning on the bottom left, we've got Lego Man and his opponent to the top right, Necromanticer. Okay. No lizards this time around from Necromanticer. Kind of an odd choice, seeing how they really kind of won him the game last time. But this map is a little bit more crunched up for Lego. This map does look better for Lego, but you know what? I'll take it. Like, we need a map win. Clan Pboop needs this map at the very least to stay in the tournament. But Necro, you know, he's not completely down and out. He does have this base up in the 12 o'clock he can take pretty easily. If he wants to be a little bit more aggressive, he can take this front base. I'm curious, since both players do have the decision to take like a safer base, you know, or go for this middle base, what their process is going to be on that, right? Because if Lego takes this base, he's basically going to prevent Necromanticer from ever getting his, or vice versa. So Necromanticer's got a pretty cool deck this time around. Lots of tier 1, very aggro. Basically almost like a cheesy deck, you know. Most of the tier 1 here with the mines. I kind of feel like the mines are like the tier 1 of defensive structures, you know. So that kind of makes sense. You know, you can take big engagements with them. You can bait the enemy into your minefield. And then he's got the Badgers to just be careful, I think. Just like, you know what, man? In case this goes long, I've got the Badger to do something with. And meanwhile, Lego Man, again, I don't think he changed his deck up. I think he's just got this tried and true. I think Lego might be one of those players that well rehearses one deck for tournament matches like this. And I've discussed that topic ad nauseum in the past, but you know, there's a couple different lines of thought with that. You know, on one side you've got guys like Araloo or this guy come to mind, or even Tiki Gray to an extent, who really like to define what I call the holy grail of decks, where they're like, all right, this is a deck that's pretty good against most things. I can rehearse its playstyle. I can do a variety of builds with it. Versus guys, I think more like the Gentleman or Big Pimpintosh, who like to change it up constantly in tournament matches. You never know what kind of deck they're going to bring out. So Lego Man taking this Campfire over a base, to me, says that he wants to be aggressive. He's going to come in and scout. Necromanticer does have a proper expansion, though. So I wonder what the decision-making will be. Okay, Lego's just going to take that. Now, why this makes me think aggression is, it's just 60 food for a farm, right? So if you want like a little bit of extra money, it does help out in that regard. But if you're really looking to play a long macro game, you're better off taking the mill. Again, these quick snakes from Lego Man against a big tier 1 army, but it is really difficult for this army to actually attack in. Necromanticer losing a unit or two to the snakes in the process, trying to move forward. But you know what? I don't mind this barbed wire from Lego. Like, if Lego can make this game go long, he's got the better late game composition. You know, no tier 2 from Necromanticer. It's actually a really big deal. Tier 2 is quite powerful currently in Tooth and Tail. So units like the Chameleons, the Falcons, Skunks, that sort of thing. Okay, good scouting for both sides so far. Lego Man, this is a really important scout for Lego Man, because now he knows, alright, my opponent is doing nothing but building tier 1. He's in a lot of trouble. He needs those Chameleons out. The Chameleons are much better against tier 1 than the Snakes are, but Necromanticer crushing through with some Toad hits. You can't build the barbed wire right here because there's no tile in front of the mill. And so many squirrels are coming through for Necromanticer. Can Lego Man hold on? He's taking so much damage. Keep in mind, he does still have that Campfire. But Necromanticer just punching through. You know, this lake in the middle here, it's a little bit of a double-edged sword for Necromanticer, because he wanted to turtle up around all this barbed wire, but you know, as we just saw from Necro there, you can't build the barbed wire right here, right? So, well, I guess Lego could have built it on the other side. Alright, Lego Man did finally sell off those snakes. Is looking to get something done here. So many tier 1 units from Necromanticer, though. Just busting down the mill. This is the last stand here for Lego. His Chameleons go down. That's so many squirrels left over. Can Lego Man hold on? It doesn't look like it. GG. Badger Missionaries will win the match today, putting us down 0-2. But we still have to play this last game for point purposes. So congratulations to Necromantisser and the Badger Missionaries in general for winning the day and putting my team 0-2. Okay, let me get the last players in here. Either way, this is going to be a really fun match to watch. The Gentleman versus Melvin Fro. Might actually just go Gentleman. Bam. Okay. So I made this mistake last time I streamed after we got 3-0'd on that day too. I just kind of called it, but we do actually need to play this last match because it does matter for points. Let's see. All right. Okay, Gent trying to get into the match. I think he's dealing with a little bit of a bug. All right. All right, here we go. Last match of the day. And, you know, we got a lot of viewers, so, again, this is going to be a strong series here. Gentleman and Melvin Fro, two of the top Tooth and Tail players currently. So, even though Badger Missionaries already won the day, we can still have fun and check out this fantastic match here. So, down in the bottom, rocking triple tier 3 is the Gentleman. And over to the left, with more of a standard deck, we've got Melvin Fro. Okay. Let's see how this shakes out. I'm not sure if the Gentleman, like, it's always hard to tell with the Gentleman, man. He's almost the player, like, he's the best player, you know? He wins most of the tournaments. He's a powerhouse in the scene, by the way. If you've been following Tooth and Tail at all over the past few years, you should know who the Gentleman is. He's got his 21 series of tournaments. He's done like 8 tournaments or something like that, 8 different seasons, and they're always really cool and really innovative. The 21 Generals, the 21 Clues, all kinds of things. They're almost like board games that the Gentleman creates that we all kind of play, but instead of like rolling a dice or something to determine the outcome, you play matches of Tooth and Tail. It's really interesting. A lot of it can be pretty complicated, but check those out if you weren't aware. But the Gentleman also is, on top of being one of the best tournament organizers and creators in the scene, he's also one of the top players. He's got several Tooth and Tail tournament victories underneath his belt. And also a good friend of mine. Meanwhile, Melvin Fro is always a force to be reckoned with, you know. I don't think Melvin Fro has a championship ring. You know, I don't think he's quite solidified it yet, but he's always one of those contenders, you know. He's like a round of 4 player, you know what I mean? Like he's always how do I put it? He's always in like really good shape, really sharp on the ladder. It would never surprise me, you know, if somebody said, "Oh, you see the Tooth and Tail tournament over the weekend, Melvin Fro won it." And I'd be like, yeah, I could totally see that. if that makes sense. So pretty macro-oriented game. You see this kind of thing a lot in high-level play. We kind of get into kind of like on small maps where you can wind up in tier 1 chicken. On larger maps like this, especially with high-level players, you kind of get wrapped up in expansion chicken, you know, because like any RTS game, the most important thing is money. Whoever has the most money wins, right? So high-level players, well, they want to get up their expansions as quick as possible. It's very similar in StarCraft, you know, the Zerg going to 2-3 bases, getting up to like 70 drones really quick. It's kind of what you're seeing here. And these players aren't doing it blindly. I think that's something that it's easy to misunderstand at a lower level or beginner level. You know, you might think like, well, hey, you know, if I did that in my game, I'd just die. Well, they're scouting constantly, if you notice. Like, they're going to scout and they're saying, oh, you have 2 farms? I'll take a 3rd farm. And then Melvin Scout says, oh, you have 3 farms? I'll take a 4th farm, and et cetera, et cetera. But the second, you know, if the gentleman came in here earlier on and saw Melvin only had a couple farms, he wouldn't have gone straight up to 8 farms on the second base. He would have started building tier 1 and all that kind of thing, and try to still stay ahead on economy, but only like 1 or 2 farms ahead. But the gentleman really wants this to go long because, as you can see, he's running a bit of a wonky deck here. Triple tier 3, and he's got the Wolf Fox on the way, a man after my heart. Wolf Fox is one of my favorite compositions. I'm not sure if it's like a strong composition, but boy, it is fun to play. Melvin Fro thinking about moving in, but decides against it for now. Let's see. Gentleman has been pretty greedy. He really needs at least this Wolf to finish. He knows the attack is on the way, so he's built a lot of tier 1 here to help deal with that. But here comes Melvin, and he's got a lot of skunks here. He's got a lot of falcons. Big powerhouse army comp. The Wolf finally makes it out, but there is no Fox just yet. Now, did Melvin... Okay, Melvin pushed out because he saw the double tier 3. However, Melvin's commander went down during this chaos, which gave Gentleman the breathing room to stay alive. And Gentleman's such a madman. He's building an owl warren while under siege. He can keep this wolf alive, and now he's got the fox. He gets the buffed up fox. He's taking a ton of damage here already, though, but he does have a lot of tier 1 units. Oh, he's kind of backed into the corner with this fox. He's desperately trying to use it as best he can, but there's no ramp. Oh my god. And this machine gun fox is gonna get the job done, and Melvin is gonna tap out because he knows now that the wolf fox is out, the gentleman is just gonna run rampant all over his base. That was a crazy match. A little bit of an early tap probably for Melvin, but I do understand it. You know, he realized that, alright, even though I've dealt a lot of damage to Gentleman, you know, he basically lost most of his units in that engagement. He had a lot of expensive tier 2, and now the Gentleman has out the Wolf Fox. It is in a phenomenal position. Over on the bottom right, Melvin Fro saying, that looks fun. And basically stealing Gentleman's deck from last time, yeah. It's the exact same deck that Gent just used. Over on the top left, using more of like a standard approach, we've got the Gentleman. The deck that the Gentleman is rocking, I would recommend to like a newer player. I don't know about the mines, you know, maybe replace that for like an MG or defense or whatever you want, maybe even Snake. This is kind of cool that Melvin's using that exact same deck. I wonder if, I haven't been paying super close attention to the meta lately, so I wonder if that's like a new deck that actually got pioneered by somebody. Because it seems crazy, Melvin literally took the same one. Gent here with some early aggression. Try to find some damage, but can't really find it with just one lizard. I'll come back home. He did force out that tier 1 warren out of Melvin, so kind of got that vicarious economic damage done. Anyways, man, that's really cool, actually. Now I want to try this deck that Gentleman used last time, Melvin used this time, because Wolf Fox is like my favorite thing. And this does make sense. You know, you've got the owl if things get a little bit crazy. You've got the barbed wire to allow you to more easily get to the economy that you're going to need to really put out that Wolf Fox. Alright, second base coming up here from both the sides. Nice scouting here from the gent. Did he scout the second base? He actually hasn't. He did see some barbed wire coming down, though, from Melvin. And Melvin scouted the second base of Gent, but then Gent sold it and put it up here. Not really sure why. Maybe just decided that's an easier base to defend. So Melvin's going to run over here to check on the farms and say, wait a minute. Oh, wait, this is actually kind of good. Melvin didn't confirm that there's another base somewhere else, and now Melvin's freaking out. Look at this. He's going to have to slam down a bunch of tier 1. He thinks he's about to be all in. This is the right response from Melvin, just on wrong information. Oh my god. That is amazing. And then he's going to come up here, and he's going to see this from the gent. Dude. Oh my god. That is so funny. That is actually huge, man. Like, it doesn't seem like much, but the gent, like, really delayed Melvin's farms there. I don't want to give the gentleman too much credit. I'm not sure how intentional that was. Maybe it was, because the gent did sell this after it got scouted, but I'm not sure if he sold it for that specific reason, for the mind games that just happened on Melvin, or if he just decided, hey, you know what, I'd rather have my base up here. Third base coming in. Let's see when the gentleman wants to start transitioning to owls. Maybe we'll see him go up the double skunk first. I don't know if he will go up the double skunk if he doesn't see a lot of tier 1 of the enemy. You know, like if you feel pretty safe, which he probably does. I don't think you need that second skunk just yet. You'll build one eventually. Love to see him just like hide the tier 3 up here, yeah. Or even back there would be better. No, he's gonna go for double owl? No. I think Melvin might scout that single. I would have liked it better in the back corner, because Melvin might scout. Well, I think Melvin can assume that it's a fully saturated base now, so you might not ever scout that again, actually, because now Melvin knows about this third base, so this is the one that he's going to want to keep his eye on. Gentlemen should be going into the second owl here shortly. Nope, just going to really go crazy on the economy for now. So we got a big fat macro game on our hands. And honestly, I'm not sure what the late game favors here. I guess Melvin, right? Like, the fox is going to be pretty irrelevant once there's enough owls out. But, I mean, hey, wolf. Wolf is pretty good. But so are a bunch of falcons, which Melvin really can't deal with besides with tier 1. But you're not going to want a lot of tier 1 later on once there's a ton of owls, because they're just going to be very ineffective against the mice. But Melvin does have falcons, which can deal with the... I mean, Melvin does have the fox, which can deal with the falcons, so... I don't know. I think the gent's got... how do I put it? Like, an easier comp on paper to control. Like, Melvin's going to have a lot of moving pieces with this composition, you know. Because ideally, you want to move the owls up a little bit so they tank some damage, move them back. You don't want your wolf to just kind of run out there, which you totally will if you don't micro them. And of course, the fox almost requires constant attention, microing that unit. So Melvin's going to have his hands full, trying to control all of his units correctly. Meanwhile, the gentleman can kind of set it and forget it in attacks. He's probably going to be focusing his control on the owls first and foremost. You know, make sure they don't die, and then maybe switch the control to the falcons to start focusing down the enemy owls, or ideally even the enemy fox. I don't know. I kind of think I like Gent's comp a little bit better here. I think with this wolf fox thing, you kind of want to hit with it before the owls really get going. Like, I think Melvin should have committed to the wolf fox on 2 bases, while Gentleman was going for the 3rd, right? To get that wolf fox out a little bit earlier. Oh, gotta hit that mine. Blah. Gent's only got 1 owl up here on the front line. He needs to be careful. He does have a few extra owls on the board, but they're not quite here yet. He's gonna bait Melvin Fro back into a few more mines. But the problem with the Fox in this comp is that it's just going to be targeting the mice mostly. Yeah, it even already goes down. Ooh, gotta be careful with all that skunk gas. So overall, that went quite nicely for Gentleman. Yeah, and unfortunately, the Fox is just not going to be useful. Because the problem is, in really big engagements like this, you can't really focus fire with the Fox, right? Like, you might be thinking, well, in theory, the Fox one-shots the Falcons. That's pretty good, right? But if you're trying to target fire with the Fox, you can't keep it alive. You got to do one or the other. All right, who's got more grist mills? 5 to 4. So Gentleman even has more mills available here. And this base is going to be really difficult for Melvin to establish. Oh, lots of mice just funneling right there. Not really getting anything done. Oh, Melvin's starting to push some damage in on the 5th base of Gent. Gonna take that down. Gent sells off those farms, though. But the big differential here, I think, is the Air Force from Gentleman. You know, starting to build into all these Falcons. You know, denying that 5th base is great, but keep in mind that's the 5th base, not the 4th base, you know. And let's see, I mean, I feel like I like this late game army from Gentleman even better. He's also got the better economy. Melvin getting pushed back. This 4th base is going to get denied. And I think that's just basically it. Lots of Gentleman's units are getting low, though. You might want to consider pulling back just to let all those tier 2 units heal back up. Yeah, I am not sure if the next Clan Wars are going to be casted. I don't see any announcements in the Discord. But keep your eyes peeled around 4 o'clock p.m. EST, about 2 hours from now, on the Tooth and Tail Twitch category, and maybe somebody will be casting those matches. But I think Gentleman should be able to just kind of push through here. Gentleman doesn't even really have to push all the way in. He's just got to keep denying that expansion from Melvin. And he's eventually going to starve him out. But so many Falcons still here in the air. Now this Fox is still alive. And now that the mice are all dead, the Fox is getting some serious shots off. Actually, a lot of the Falcons starting to die here from Gentleman. Yeah, right there, those last like 20 or 30 seconds, the Fox actually got a ton of work done. But Melvin's economy is now in shambles. So Melvin really needs this push to work. Four owls on... No, actually 5 owls for Gentleman here. This is just a bloodbath. But these owls are starting to get weakened down. 1 goes down, 2 go down. Melvin taps out. The Gentleman takes a match for Clan Pboop here. Unfortunately, too little too late, as we've already lost the day. But you know what? We had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed casting, hanging out with everybody. I hope you all had a great time. We had some good viewership, so I really appreciate that, guys and gals out there in the Twitch world. So thanks again for tuning in, everybody. Congratulations to Badger Missionaries for winning the Clan Wars match here. Good job from my boys at Clan Pboop, doing their best and putting up some good fights. And you know what? I think we had some really entertaining games. I'm not even upset. I'm proud of my clan. I think they did a great job. And I had a lot of fun hanging out with everybody. Keep sending me replays, everybody. ToothandTailTV@gmail.com. Usually on Friday nights, I like to cast viewer-submitted replays. I don't do it every Friday night, but I do try to when I have the availability and the energy. So thanks again, everybody. I had a lot of fun. And I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your weekend. Take care.